Have you ever met someone who just drains your energy? Someone who always finds a way to twist your words, criticize your choices, or make you feel small, even when you've done nothing wrong? It could be a coworker who never has a kind word to say, a friend who always competes instead of supports, or maybe even a family member who brings more chaos than comfort. If you've ever walked away from a conversation feeling emotionally exhausted, questioning your own peace, you're not alone. I've seen it countless times. In coaching sessions, people tell me, I feel like I lose myself around them. I start calm, but they always pull me into their storm. And I always remind them of this truth. You can't stop toxic people from being who they are, but you can stop them from controlling your peace. That's what the Stoics mastered 2,000 years ago. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire full of manipulation, flattery, and betrayal, yet somehow he stayed calm. Seneca lived among politicians who would destroy a man with a rumor, and still wrote about kindness and wisdom. Epictetus was once a slave, yet he spoke of freedom, not the kind given by others, but the kind found in your own mind. These men understood something most of us forget. No one can poison your peace unless you hand them the cup. And maybe that's why Stoicism feels more relevant than ever today, because our modern world is full of noise, online arguments, toxic workplaces, and relationships that drain us instead of helping us grow. But Stoicism isn't about cutting people off or pretending not to feel. It's about learning how to protect your inner world, how to stay calm in the presence of chaos and strong in the face of negativity. So in this video, we're going to explore 7 Stoic ways to deal with toxic people. Lessons that teach us not just how to survive around them, but how to rise above them with grace, self-control, and peace of mind. Because at the end of the day, the real victory isn't proving them wrong, it's staying unshaken while they try to pull you down. Way 1. Master your reaction. The first Stoic lesson when dealing with toxic people is simple, but not easy. Control your reaction. You can't control their words, their attitude, or their behavior, but you can always control yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." When someone provokes you, they want your reaction. That's their fuel. But the moment you stop giving it to them, they lose control. I once coached a young woman named Hannah who worked in a toxic office. Her boss constantly belittled her, taking credit for her work and criticizing her in front of others. She told me, "Every time it happens, I go home angry, replaying it for hours." I said, "The goal isn't to win against him, it's to win against your own anger." She started practicing what Marcus taught, pausing before reacting. When her boss snapped, she simply breathed, stayed calm, and spoke with reason instead of rage. Within weeks, her emotional state changed completely. Her boss didn't stop being toxic, but he stopped having power over her. That's what Stoicism gives you, not immunity from pain, but mastery over your peace. Way 2. See through the emotion, not into it. Toxic people are masters of emotional manipulation. They know how to push your buttons, twist your emotions, and make you doubt yourself. But Stoics remind us, emotions are signals, not commands. Seneca once said, "He who is calm and composed can rule even in chaos." When you feel yourself getting angry, defensive, or hurt, don't rush to act, pause and observe. Say to yourself, "I'm feeling anger right now," instead of "I am angry." That small difference changes everything. Because when you name an emotion, you separate yourself from it. A client of mine, a teacher named Matt, once told me about a coworker who constantly made sarcastic comments. Instead of reacting, he practiced awareness. He noticed how his chest tightened, his mind wanted to snap back, and he just breathed through it. He told me, "The moment I stopped reacting, it felt like I took back control of the room." That's the Stoic way, to observe, not absorb. Way 3, don't take it personally. When someone insults you, manipulates you, or spreads negativity, remember this: it's about them, not you. Epictetus said, "When someone treats you poorly, remember, they act according to their own principles, not yours." I met a man named Robert who couldn't stand his father-in-law. Every family dinner turned into criticism: his job, his parenting, his clothes, even his haircut. He told me, "I feel like nothing I do is ever good enough." I told him, maybe he's not trying to insult you, maybe he's trying to feel better about himself. That realization changed everything. He stopped defending, stopped taking it personally, and started responding with calmness. The insults still came, but they no longer landed. Toxic people project their pain onto others. They attack what they secretly hate in themselves. So the next time someone tries to drag you down, remember, they're not showing you who you are, they're revealing who they are. Way 4, set boundaries, not walls. Stoicism doesn't mean tolerating abuse. It means being wise enough to know when to step back. There's a difference between forgiveness and permission. Seneca said, "Associate with those who make you better and welcome those you can make better." Boundaries protect your peace. Walls isolate your heart. I once worked with a nurse named Julia who felt guilty for distancing herself from a toxic friend. This friend always complained, gossiped, and drained her emotionally. Julia said, "But I don't want to seem heartless." I told her, "Kindness without boundaries becomes self-destruction." She began setting gentle limits, fewer calls, more honesty, and less emotional rescue. Over time, she felt lighter, not because her friend changed, but because she stopped trying to fix what wasn't hers to fix. Boundaries are not rejection, they are respect for your own energy, and no one will respect them until you do. Way 5, veo3. Practice emotional detachment. The Stoics had a concept called apatheia. Not apathy, but emotional balance. It means being involved, but not entangled. Caring deeply, but not losing yourself in someone else's chaos. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." In other words, don't attach your peace to how others perceive you. Toxic people thrive on emotional control. When you detach, you take that power back. Think of your peace like a candle. A strong wind can blow it out unless you protect it behind glass. That glass is detachment. You still see the world clearly, but you no longer let every gust of negativity extinguish your light. A man I once knew, a firefighter, told me something profound. In chaos, you have to stay calm, because panic kills more than fire does. That's the Stoic truth. Emotions are natural, but reaction is optional. When you detach, you're not cold, you're clear. Use compassion as armor, not weakness. This may sound counterintuitive, but one of the best ways to deal with toxic people is with compassion. Not the kind that excuses behavior, but the kind that understands pain. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up, remind yourself, today you will meet people who are arrogant, jealous, deceitful, but remember they are so because they don't know good from evil." He didn't say to hate them, he said to understand them. I once met a man named Ben who had an incredibly toxic mother. She manipulated him emotionally, used guilt as a weapon, and criticized everything he did. He told me, "I've spent my whole life trying to get her approval." I asked, what if she's just doing the best she can with her pain? That question changed his perspective. Compassion doesn't mean you let them walk all over you. It means you see their humanity without losing your own. And when you stop hating them, you free yourself. Toxicity can't survive in an environment of calm understanding. It feeds on reaction and dies in silence. Way 7. Walk away with grace. The hardest Stoic lesson of all is learning to let go. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing. No arguing, no defending, no proving, just out. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one you don't have to convince anyone of your worth. You don't have to win every battle. Some situations simply don't deserve your energy anymore. I remember a client, Sarah, who spent years in a toxic friendship, constant drama, emotional manipulation, guilt trips. One day she realized, every time I talk to her, I feel smaller. So she quietly walked away. No big speech, no anger, just distance. Months later she said, I didn't lose a friend. I gained myself back. That's what it means to walk away with grace, to leave behind what poisons your peace without carrying bitterness in your heart. You see, Stoicism isn't about hardening your soul, it's about softening it with wisdom. The goal isn't to build walls, but to build strength within those walls, the kind that no one's words can shake. So when you find yourself surrounded by difficult people, you don't need to change them. All you need to do is muster yourself. Every toxic encounter is a classroom, every insult a lesson in patience, every manipulation a test of your inner calm. The Stoics knew the world will always have toxic people, but your peace, that's your responsibility. And once you learn to protect it, no one can ever take it from you again. Let's be honest, dealing with toxic people hurts. It's draining, confusing, and sometimes it makes you question your own kindness. Because deep down you just want peace. You want to live without tension, without having to constantly defend your energy. But here's what the Stoics remind us. Peace doesn't come when people around you finally behave. It comes when you learn how to stay still, even when they don't. You see, life will always bring difficult people into your path. Some to test your patience, some to remind you of your boundaries, and some to teach you the most important lesson of all, that your peace is yours to protect. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." That means you don't have to become bitter just because someone else is. You don't have to mirror their cruelty or lower your standards to match their chaos. You can choose to stay calm, to stay kind, and to stay free. I've seen this truth unfold countless times, in my clients, in friends, and in my own life. The moment you stop trying to control or correct a toxic person, something changes. The storm quiets, not because they've changed, but because you have. And that's the heart of Stoicism. It's not about being emotionless, it's about being unshakable. It's about being the one who remains grounded while others lose their balance. It's about realizing that peace doesn't depend on how others treat you, it depends on how you treat yourself. So tonight, or whenever you finish watching this video, I invite you to take a moment. Think of that one person who's been testing your patience lately. Breathe. And instead of wishing they were different, whisper to yourself, I choose peace, I choose calm, I choose to walk away with grace. You'll notice something powerful happens when you do. Your energy returns, your clarity sharpens, and you stop fighting battles that were never yours to begin with. Because peace isn't about avoiding difficult people, it's about mastering how you show up around them. That's the Stoic path, that's self-mastery. If this message resonated with you, if it helped you find a little bit of calm in the middle of life's chaos, subscribe to Stoic Awakening More and turn on the notification bell so we can continue this journey together. And if you know someone who might need to hear what we just shared, share this video with them. You never know, it might be exactly what they need today. That's how you plant a small seed of goodness in the world. With love, always.